Hey kids, you're about to listen to a comedy podcast. That means that none of this is medical advice. If you need medical advice or medical care, please contact your doctor.
Welcome to the Jock Doc Podcast,
where we discuss fitness and health and how to incorporate our modern understanding of science and medicine into our daily lives, but without it being so boring. I'm your host, Dr. LondonSmith.com. I'd like to begin by apologizing to our listeners. We've received some feedback about the excessive amount of technical medical terms that I've been using, such as complement cascade and rock climbing. So I'll try to temper my terminology to a simpler one in the future. Here to help with that is our producer, Cameron.
Dr. London, we are just a few weeks away now from Valentine's Day, the day of actual love, of hearts and Cupid and arrows and sort of penis stuff and like all that sort of stuff. And Dr. London, I'm really excited this year because me and you have a good life. Like you and I, like we've got our own partners, and we're sort of just like living it up. Ha 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 ha.
Yeah.
But our listeners don't have those luxuries that we do. They're not in the same position of power that we are, in sort of celebrity. To sort of, me and you, it's like models and whatever. Our listeners, what?
Our listeners don't have soulmates, life partners in the form of whatever models or floozies come around?
Not according to the data, Dr. London, because I've been breaking this down, looking at the Google Analytics, and so far, every single one of our listeners is incredibly single, no prospects, doesn't know how to get a date if they wanted to, can't find a date, as in physically, the lights in their houses have been shut off. Their electricity
there's a lot of vision issues.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Dr. London, I was hoping that we could give our 2025 dating tips, how to get a date for Valentine's Day for our legion of listener losers.
Yeah. Okay. This is good. And I'll admit here, I could maybe benefit from this as well. Because, yes, although I am the celebrity, whenever you get to this point, you
can't just settle for like one girlfriend.
Yeah, what I almost said was that do you feel a separation? But yes, it is just amount. It is the sheer volume of potential partners that I'm swimming in right now. And so I guess the first step to finding the perfect one is to start eliminating the ones that are not perfect.
That's right. So our hopeless loser listeners out there, the first step to figuring out your Valentine's Day date is to reject as many people as possible right now. Go through the list in your head right now. You might even think, oh, I don't have any prospective dates. You have a mailman, don't you? That's a prospective date. I don't want to date my mailman. Eliminated from the pool. Etc., etc. My cousins, don't want to date my cousins. They are eliminated from the pool. Go through every single person in your phone or that you see throughout your day and get rid of the riffraff, the people you don't want to touch.
Yeah.
And sort of like squeeze and stuff.
Think through, like, could I spend the rest of my life with this person? If that's a no, we'll hold off for a second. Because, like, can you spend the next 20 years with this person and then find someone else? That's okay too. Like, you can think like this, but you are going to have to really get just your list of rejects pretty on the ready, because they're going to come in handy all day on the actual Valentine's Day.
Yeah. The last thing you want is to be tripping over, like, to end up at your Valentine's Day date and to have accidentally invited the mailman when you didn't want to invite the mailman at all. Not that it wouldn't be a good date, but like, the mailman would never invite you. And that sort of, it's kind of like, okay, there's not sort of a give and take here.
I feel like we are circling around it, but we might as well just say it. Don't ask the mailman out.
Okay, tip number 2 is don't ask the mailman out. They'll probably say no, even if you got the courage to say something finally and to actually like put yourself out there, they're just going to say no, so don't even worry about it and don't even think about it.
It's what would they even see in? Because they see so many houses, so many mailboxes.
And for you to dream that large, I think, especially in your state, listener, I just don't see it as a good option. Dr. Lennon, I do have a tip. This is one that I've been trying to live by for a while now. So out in 2015, that's this year, right?
Yeah. 2015. Going strong.
Apps are out, traps are in. And Dr. London, what I mean by that? What do I mean by that? I mean apps, Bumble, Hinge, whatever, gone. Those are old millennial nonsense. We, as young, either Zoomers or Alpha, or maybe even younger than that, Beta, as like us young cool people.
Yeah, the generation. Yes.
The new generation, we don't do apps. We do traps. I'm talking, you put a little carrot inside of a box. You put a stick that holds up one side of the box that's attached to a string, and you're sitting around like a little bush.
And sorry,
sort of hiding.
For our listeners, like we have a diagram of this post on the website. Like I agree. Like I know what you're thinking. Like this is pretty advanced. How would we make this trap? We have it on the website. Okay, so check out the website. And we'll have the box with the stick trap. Like I was not able to follow the first time I went on a date.
It's kind of tough, but this is sort of what separates us from the animals is humans' ability to build tools. And one of the earliest tools is the trap. Just sort of, again, sticking a little carrot in a box, and then you put a stick, and you tie a string to the stick, and you yank it. Once a potential mate sort of scurries on in there to eat the carrot.
Now, there are some problems with this that I ran into and it's why maybe sometimes I haven't had the best Valentine's Day experiences. The carrot tastes really good. And you can't eat it if you're trying to trap someone.
No, and if you are going to go down that route, don't like still be holding the string and then pull it closed on yourself. Thus ensuring you'll never be able to get out of the kind of cardboard UPS box that you're in.
Yeah, I cannot tell you how many it's not even like the Valentine's Day was so bad. It's just like it was so dark and I couldn't get out. And I'd push the box around and people would like maybe think of helping me, but they don't know if that'd be like rude, you know? Like surely he can figure this out kind of thing.
Yeah, no, I would be embarrassed to try to help.
So that's dating tip number 3.
Yeah, I think this will get our listeners ready for Valentine's Day.
To the date. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. They probably won't have a date for the day, but they will at least survive till that date.
Until the day.
This advice will at least get them through.
Get you physically, at least I'd say to it, not through necessarily. But yeah.
Not my job once you get to the date. That's our producer Cameron. Also with us is Did You Know in the House? And later, Cameron tells me we can expect a special guest. That's right, Dr. London.
So do look forward to that. But before we move on, we would like to address a bit of listener feedback. So for a long time, our listener demographic was primarily composed of they weren't for sure rats, but like the size of a rat. So that's most of what our fan base was. Like they weren't rats. I think like legally they couldn't get that, but they tried. Anyway, so we tried to cater to them, but in our efforts to cater to them, we found that we were neglecting the many bot accounts of Denlander Podcast. So this is a comment actually that comes from one of those bots. This is on TikTok. A comment in our response to this is hilarious and unhinged. The at blah blah Hodge _ said, quote, "It's sad to see cultural medical practices fade away as capitalism pushes its way into the medical industry. My grandma used to hit the back of my head with a skillet to put me to bed when I was sick." End quote. So thank you so much for this feedback. A lot to cover here, but I think a big thing this listener was bringing up was that we should be scared of grandma.
Yeah, I mean, grandma was my main mentor. This user's grandma sort of taught me the medicine that I know. Obviously, TikTok comments, they got to stay short, whatever. It's an oversimplification just to say, oh, whack him in the head with the skillet. The size of the pan changes depending on the situation, skull size, speed, accuracy. There's a lot of different factors.
Yeah, the phrenology, when my sorry, when this listener's grandma would bring out the calipers and like start measuring my head, I'm like, oh, it's sort of just these traditions that are passed down and this knowledge that like this folklore. People don't realize that the old ways are coming back. It's all real.
It's all real, and also this is why we're doctors and you're not, because you can't just smack people with a skillet. Sometimes it has to be sort of like a baking sheet. Yeah. So
I hope that answers your question. Thank you so much for that feedback. And we have another one here. This is from TikTok. This is a comment on What's Up, My Name is Cameron. At Don't Overcome Fear said, quote, "The bell after the question always gets me giggling for some reason," end quote. So thank you so much for this feedback. We get this a lot. And yes, tinnitus really gives me the giggles too. When you've had all these loud explosions in your ears, you've gone to places where maybe the government said you shouldn't, and it's so loud, that ringing brings back so many memories of what I saw, and it's so I just all
just
the
sort
giggles.
Of cowering in fear.
Yeah. Oh man, so funny.
Well, and for me, Dr. Lennon, the ring in my ears, I have a different experience because I was part of this like club or whatever where this guy would ring this bell, and then he would give me a treat every single time that he rung the bell.
Oh, I love this club, yeah.
Then I developed tinnitus, and so I'm constantly hearing the ringing bell, thus constantly salivating, thus constantly needing treats to kind of keep moving forward. So it's called the Pavlov experience. It's a fun club. It's really expensive. I've had to take out a second mortgage on my home, and what I had as a home could barely even qualify as that. But the ringing bell noises, it's the one constant in my life. Yeah, and it's and like for those who don't know, Pavlov's experience is kind of the hottest club in LA. So it is really fun, but it does give you the munchies a little bit. And I think for a state that's kind of cool with weed, like that makes sense. So anyway, to that listener, thank you so much. I hope that I hope we answered your question. Thank you. This last one, this comes from TikTok. A comment on What's Up, My Name is Cameron. At Hearty Bowl of Cam said, quote, "My name is that, but with a K," end quote. So thank you so much for that feedback. Cameron, have you ever met a that with a K? Like a thack, or I guess it's a cat? Like a hat? No, I believe it. The full name is that but a K? That but a K? That but with a K. That but with a K. That but with a K. It's German. Okay. Is it, sorry, and just to get specific, because I've been there, northern or southern, like, is it more of a, sort of the classic, oh, everyone's got their beer kind of German, or is it the other kind? Right, is it like the snuff video place? Yeah. It's the snuff video place. So there's a part of Germany where people make snuff videos that are pretty cool. And if you go further east, they get even cooler. Yeah. And no, actually, I should not elaborate on that. Okay, we can move on. I hope that answered your question. Thank you so much for that feedback. Now for today's medical topic, pseudohyperkalemia, which is a state of falsely elevated potassium levels in a patient's blood. So pseudo, like pseudonym, meaning a fake version. Hyper means increased or more than. And kalemia refers to potassium's abbreviation on the periodic table, Ka. So real hyperkalemia is scary because that can stop the heart in seconds if the level is high enough. But with the high levels of potassium in a blood sample, you want to be sure to rule out pseudo-hyperkalemia first, because it may not be the emergency that it looks like at first. So things to watch out for when suspecting pseudohyperkalemia include hemolysis, repeated fist clenching with a tourniquet in place, and thrombocytosis or leukocytosis in these patients. And this is just one of the many ways that you can falsify your medical data in order to throw off your doctor, because everyone has experienced doctors, right? They think they're the smartest person in every room that they're in. And so what I like to do when I see a doctor, what I like to do, for example, is I run really hard in place right before they get in there. And they say, "Oh, were you just exercising or something? You're sweaty, your heart rate's really high." And I say, "No." And they say, "Oh, well, that's concerning then." And then I say, "Ha, got you." Like sort of proving that all of your medical know-how and nonsense and expertise meant nothing due to my ability to manipulate the laws of physics.
If I could do just a brief impression of Cameron in a doctor's office real quick, because I've seen this.
Yeah.
It's a little something like, like before even the waiting room, it's a, so this is a doctor's office,
Yeah, well, I'm way more out of breath, but.
Yeah, because just getting there, you are dangerously, low blood volume most of the time.
Oh, yeah, even if I didn't, run in place, I would still be sweating with a really high heart rate.
Whenever they get your vitals and you're thinking you tricked them, you also have things very wrong with you that give that reading as well.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna trust the guy in the lab coat who was just wrong about something else. I'm gonna trust him with my life or glucose or whatever that is.
Yeah, but I should say, they've been pretty good about just, I guess, calming you down, because they do make you run around the building a few times now, right? Just as a matter of course before you get in.
That
go get tuckered out.
Well, they do take me out and they throw a ball around to get me to get tuckered out, but I don't just do that on my own. There's a guy who comes by twice a day or whatever to take me out.
Right. Yeah, the PT, physical therapy, yeah. Anyways, things to watch out for with suspecting pseudohyperkalemia include, as I said, hemolysis, fist clenching. None of these causes of hyperkalemia needs to be treated or investigated. You just get a new blood sample whenever, say, a Cameron type comes into your office. You'll just get a new blood sample and it'll probably be normal. Or in Cameron's case, it will be so much worse, oftentimes. All right, so Cameron, you said that we have a guest today, is that right?
That's right, Dr. London. We have an extremely exciting, brand new guest.
All right, well, hello there. My name is Dr. LondonSmith.com. This is our producer, Cameron. What was your name?
Scott Kennedy, no relation. Good to be on.
Okay, and just to clarify who you're not related to, because there's a kid down my street named Jeff Kennedy.
Yeah, so I'm related to Jeff.
Okay,
yeah, this is going to cause some confusion because I know, of course, when you say no relation,
right?
You're talking.
I was talking about the Dead Kennedys, the band Dead Kennedys.
Yeah, the Dead Kennedys. I don't really know that. I was going to say Mary Kennedy, Jeff's mom.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think I'm related to her technically, also.
Okay.
So which ones are you not related to? Can we eliminate those real quick? When you say no relation, who are you referring to?
So JFK.
Yeah.
What does that stand for? Who does that
LFK. I'm not done. Sorry. LFK.
Okay.
PFK. I am related to OFK, but he's kind of under the radar. He's not super big. He's big on some circles, but you probably don't know about him. I'm not related to PFK, and I'm not related to OFK Jr., so a different OFK. Okay.
So you're not into the abbreves, right? It sounds like, I guess you are related to some abbreviated people.
Yeah, it's just more no FKs.
Yeah.
I mean, Scott, what's your middle name?
Frederick.
Okay, so you are an FK as well. Okay, I understand. No relation.
Yeah.
No relation to, like you said, the movie JFK or LFK, PFK, NFK, SFK.
But you normally get questions about the movie, right? You do, in these situations, a question's gonna come up naturally.
Yeah. Obviously, and look, Oliver Stone is a great guy. I just want to, and I am related. I am related to him. I have to clarify that.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
No, this is very confusing just because I don't really understand how names work in the first place. Let's just move on.
Yeah,
Scott.
Yeah, I'm sorry we've taken so much time. I'm not here to talk about names. That's like
you came out of the gate with that one.
I carved out 50 minutes to talk about names. I don't want to get hampered on that. I did, prepare a lot of my time to talk about like names, etymology, just the science of names in general. But now that we're talking about it, let's just move on. Most like 90% of the things I was going to talk about is related to names. I think I'm doing this all a favor. Let's move on to something else.
We can circle back to it organically as it comes.
I was gonna say, let's actually circle back to that. Not yet.
Right now? Okay, so
no, yeah, right now. No, right now is
so
good,
you've got JFK, LFK, PFK, TFK. Oh,
yeah.
TFK, that's 1,000-Foot Crutch, the Christian rock.
And also we have
2001.
We have FKA Twigs.
Yeah, FKA Twigs. From The Crow.
ROFO.
Actually, a lot of people don't know JFK was John formerly known as. He actually changed his name originally. He changed his name to sound more presidential. Yeah,
that makes sense because if I remember from the movie, he had all this involvement with like Chicago mobsters, and he had these affairs. And it would be just easier instead of having all these alter egos, just to already have sort of a formerly known as in the name permanently.
Yeah, and he used to be kind of right wing, and I remember Oliver was obviously a big advisor before, obviously way before JFK died. He was a big, his first name was Scott Kennedy, and he was a right wing guy. And Oliver said, "No, go back into the left. We want you to. You're not going to get elected as a right wing guy." And so he changed his name, and he became more liberal, and he won.
Now, but I gotta know, if you're not related to any of these people,
I'm related to Oliver Stone. Yeah,
you are related to Oliver Stone. You're related to Jeff. You're possibly related to Mary.
Right.
But so what?
But not by marriage. Not by marriage.
Not by marriage. What brings you, if not those things? Because that's the only reason I could think someone would be a guest, is if you are these things. Most of the guests are. What brings you to our show today?
Well, like I said, I was going to talk about names for a while, but why don't I just talk about my new position? I got hired by the RFK administration. I know this is a health podcast, so I thought maybe I could share some insights on things that Americans need to know about the modern health, as far as the new administration goes, kind of things that we're trying to push, and just things overall that we are excited about, just in general, about the future.
Are we seeing a lot of? Are there going to be a lot of changes, or is it going to be just business as usual?
Yeah, there's going to be. Let's just say there's going to be some change. All right, let's just say that. I mean, do you want to get into it?
I guess I want to hear about this.
And look, I can't stress this enough. I'm not related to RFK. I did get hired as a policy advisor by OFK Jr., who, again, I'm not related to. I'm related to the other OFK, and Jeff and Mary and Oliver Stone.
Yeah.
I just wanted to get that out of the way because a lot of people are talking about Nepo babies. That's big right now. That's not. I got this job off of hard work, good ideas, dedication. I'm a graduate from Trump University. Go Bald Eagles. We were on. In fact, I actually just. You were talking about Pavlov's experience, and that's so funny that you mentioned that because I just met some of the boys at Pavlov's experience. I love the slogan "Where my dog's at." We just got together. Yeah, I just got together with some of the boys. RFK showed up for a little bit. He can't drink because of the worm. It goes kind of crazy when he has alcohol, but
but the worm can drink.
Oh, believe me, you've seen those worms at the bottom of the tequila glass.
Oh yeah, they're so
Let's just
drunk.
say that might be how he got the worm in his brain. Okay, he used to drink a lot. That's all I'm going to say.
Well, I want to know. okay, I want to know what I, as the common man who has no idea what's being put in my body, what I'm eating at any given time, what I'm licking at any given time, what's going to change day to day for me?
We're going to do coupons for surgery. That's a big one.
Okay.
Yes. Okay.
Buy one, get one kidney transplant. For example, just one of many things. We're going to try to make healthcare more affordable.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Oh, I hate to backtrack a little bit on this, but I'm not going to go back to the name thing, but I am wondering about how you got the job, because you said it was hard work and dedication, which I feel like that's usually what you do after you get a job. So, like, did you apply? Because I saw a lot of like just fantastic Craigslist ads for the gig. Which, and by the way, being employed at all in this day and age, props to you. Like, that's really good. But was this, because like we've all done kind of side hustles with this administration, and it's mostly been Craigslist stuff. Some of it's been off Tinder and Grindr. Yeah.
Right. I mean, that's actually great you brought that up. I did get this off of a misconnection post. I actually did a little bit of networking with one of the guys in the administration from Trump University. He was in my militia. We got a grant we did a project we got a grant funding our research to dispel the myth of the female orgasm. We did a research paper on that. He got hired. I can't stress this enough. Not related to him.
Okay.
He was a Kennedy, but a different Kennedy. So he was related to RFK. RFK hired him. I was just boys with him. I'd seen him at Pavlov's a lot. Went to Trump University with him.
Right, you get down with him, you party with him, you maybe hit the slopes with him a bit, you know.
We did fight Asian people, but I don't think we can call them that anymore. But
no, we're not supposed to know where things are anymore.
Yeah, right. Well, so
like countries, anything like that.
He knew about my work, my research papers and stuff, and he thought I would be a good addition. And like I said, hard work. I'm a big fan of the administration, obviously, alma mater to you, and we're just going from there. We have a lot of stuff. Yeah,
that's a fantastic point that you make there. I'm just a fan of the administration. I don't agree. I don't agree with literally any of it, but boy, I'm a fan. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, everything they're implementing seems so horrific.
Yeah.
And so kind of insane that just there's so little actual reasonable pushback towards some of these executive orders and whatnot. But I'm a fan of the guy. Do I find the guy funny? No. Do I find him interesting? No. Do I find his voice anything other than just sort of insanely grating? Of course not. But I'm just a fan because I'm just a guy.
I'm just a guy. It's a little bit about dudes rocking at the end of the day, and that's what we're trying. And we're trying to appeal to a lot of people that don't like him. So, like for instance, we're making mandatory astrology signs on medical charts now. We want the girls to kind of get on board. Obviously, we've looked at the demographics a lot. Basically, the only people that like us are white men right now, and we're trying to, makes sense why you guys are such big fans.
Yeah, well, just to say, I'm a fan. I don't know if "like" is the right word, but yes, I see what you mean.
The majority of fans right now are that demographic, so we're trying to expand. We're obviously we are sticking to help out the demographic. Like for instance, one of the big things we're doing right now is we're adding a couple things to the Americans with Disability Acts. Having a penis under 3 inches hard is considered a disability now, and I think that's great for our fan base. It's going to help a lot of people out. They get a disability check.
I just gotta. I wouldn't know anything about that at all. I wouldn't even. Just need to put that. I wouldn't even know. That's so different than my experience. That But is this anonymous? You can get this.
It's anonymous. They do have to measure it, and you do have to get. So basically, you go to a government office. We also have it under. We're trying to push to get scholarships. So this would be considered a disability, just like any other disability. You would get a handicap decal. You get to park closer.
Like a wheelchair, maybe.
Wheelchair access, exactly. You would get hopefully scholarship. The problem with getting a scholarship is they do have to measure it. So, like, say you go to a FAFSA office, there's a government agent that will pull down your pants. Well, you do unfortunately have to get hard because we don't measure soft. This isn't about soft measurement. This is about the performance.
You don't want someone scamming the system coming in with just a little soft one, but really just a huge hog. Yeah, I understand.
And it's like saying you're 5% Native American. Okay, are you going to prove me wrong? Like, are you going to pull out? Are you going to make me? Unfortunately, yes. You're going to have to prove it.
I can't tell you how many times I've been to the FAFSA office. They pull my pants down and they ask, "Are you Native American?" And
you have to be like, 5%, just 5%.
There he goes with his Native American penis joke. Listen, this isn't the place for that. I get it. We're all fans of the guy. We're all having fun. I'm just trying to help our base here a little bit, and that is a big demographic with our fans, and we want to do something for them. So, I think that's going to be huge.
It's not a big demographic. It's I see what you're saying. Yes.
Yes, I get that.
But it is normal. It's a disability, but it is completely average, and no one is lesser.
It's not even a disability.
No one's lesser than.
Yeah, it's actually very. And whenever I park using that thing, it's gonna I'm gonna be like, the doctor just said I had to use it. Like, I don't know.
Well, the great thing about it is, it's not hard to fit in those spaces when you have the decal. You know what I mean? You just slide right in, no issue. And it'll be pretty close to the entrance, so that's
some breathing room.
A lot of breathing room, yeah. The parking space won't even know you're in it.
Well, you don't want to get, you don't want to get stuck in a situation.
Yeah.
Like, you can be too big for a parking spot, and then it's like, this is...
How do I get out? Oh, help me.
What do I even...
and I'm a smart car in a garage.
Right, exactly. And a lot of parking spaces actually say the big ones are bad. Because you do get, like, it's hard to get out. And
I've read some of these studies.
Yeah. So,
and this, I know we're way past it, but you mentioned some of your earlier work in discovering the myth of the female orgasm. I wanted to say, I was so excited when I got that notification from Snopes that they had updated it to finally reflect the truth.
Yeah.
I love seeing these fact checkers tuck their tail and run and actually have to get back to the facts of being like, okay, of course that's a myth. It doesn't exist. Busted.
Obviously, and we even need it. Like, any guy knows that it's a myth. But a lot of the liberals are trying to push. I'm sorry to make this political. I didn't want to. I'm trying to unify the country here, but
it's
a lot of liberals are like, we need some proof. Like, you're a guy. Most of us have had sex. We know it's not real. But they need some scientific paper to prove it. So that's what we did. And yeah.
Can I say it's not just the liberals. I've known women who say it's not real, that they've never experienced this with a guy.
Yeah, after you
it's not real with a guy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Usually, it is after a long conversation with me, and then me saying like, "Well, do you want to go back to?" And they're like, "No."
Yeah. Once I've shown my date the Stopes article, then I assume they side with truth.
No, so we have Quora. We have Quora submissions. I mean, it's big online right now. We're kind of doing a push to get it out there into the public. We want public knowledge.
Almost wish it was bigger online. Yeah, is kind of what I wish.
That's the thing that you won't hear. Like, a lot of the liberals control the narrative right now, and that's what they're pushing. And we have to do our part. That's why I'm coming on podcasts like this. And I really appreciate you guys giving me a platform here. And I'm trying to just get the information out there. I don't want to make it political. I don't want to make it a whole thing. I just want to educate the public.
Of course not.
It's all political these days. You can't avoid it. And especially when you're talking about these things like astrology signs and how certain things are a myth and certain sizes are normal.
We just had a meeting in the Gulf of America yesterday, and we're actually doing we're trying to make healthcare more affordable by getting rid of it. And so that seems counterintuitive, right? But let me give you an example. Why would you want health insurance to go to therapy when you can take advantage of minimum wage workers and unload your trauma on them, right? Have you ever been to a cashier? What do they have to say? How are you doing? How's your day?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, big mistake.
I've been meaning to go to a cashier.
I'll tell you how I'm doing. I'll sit down for an hour, and guess how much it costs? Nothing. So we're trying
You're not tipping at all anyway.
Obviously, they're making $8 an hour. They're doing. Why am I going to tip? Right?
See, okay.
Well, and also
my experience has been different.
Oh, sorry.
Well, just they do charge me after a while. Like they know me now.
At the CVS, like the cashiers.
Yeah, this is one of these things where I've kind of tried a version of this health insurance, and people really pick up on it, and they do. Like if you do it just one time, people are just like, oh, what a day that was. But if you do it,
you're going to the same place, and that's the problem. I have. And this is another reason why I'm on here. I'm trying to get these ideas out there. You want to go to different spots because they will catch on after a few times.
Yeah, well, in London specifically was going once a week at the exact same time. He was treating it like an appointment. It was every Friday at 2 p.m.
Yeah. Right.
You would go see your doctor.
It was 3 times a week at first, but over time, once I was okay enough, then we got it to just.
You want to switch it up, thing. Yeah? They will kick you out. I've had that issue a couple times. Try different establishments. Some locations will talk to each other. Like if you only go to CVS, you want to go to Walgreens a couple times. You want to go to. I've done it at a McDonald's. A cashier. Do you want?
Oh wow.
Do you want change with that? Yeah, I need some change in my life actually. And can you help me? You got to get creative.
I like to go to a used car lot and go for a test drive with the salesman there and then park on the side of the road and then sort of just let it out. Mm-hmm. You ever had these kind of sit and talk conversations with one of your buddies? You park on the side, you're going to let them out of the car, but then you guys just talk for an hour?
That's a great idea. And the best part about that is he's trapped, so he has no real choice. You're driving. You're literally figuratively in the driver's seat here.
Exactly. As opposed to going to a therapist where they're in control. Like they're literally performing mind control on you. And it's like, no, I don't want that. I want to perform mind control.
Drive off the side of a cliff right now. I guess you're going to have to stop me from doing that by making my mental health okay. You have no choice now.
Yeah.
That's a good move. I didn't even think about that. Use it as sort of a blackmail threat. Like, you have to cure me now. Or else you gotta figure this shit out.
Or else we're both going down. Yeah, that's great. This is great. And you don't need a health insurance. You don't need to go to a doctor for this, right? You just use the world.
Do you take Blue Cross Blue Shield? No.
It's,
do you want me to take your life?
Right. Do you want to live?
Yeah.
That's my insurance.
Yeah, do you want me to take this turn off the cliff now?
Yeah, so these are just some, and again, you don't have to do this, but these are just some options that we have for people who are trying to save money. The whole point is you don't need health insurance. A lot of liberals will be like, oh, we have to have health insurance for everyone. We have to have.
Liberals love to talk like that. Yeah.
For instance, another thing we're doing, and this is actually the Doge committee wanted to cut this, which I think is a great idea. We're getting rid of sex education. For young people, on the way we get away with doing this, we are going to have to reverse the age verification thing on Pornhub because that is the sex education that we're going to be pivoting to. So right. So you have free sex ed online. I don't need to pay teachers to do it for you.
And honestly, to me, in my experience and the experience of everyone I know, no one's having sex until they're like mid-30s-ish anyway. Right, so like,
Yeah,
I gotta teach
yeah.
these kids this thing that they're not even gonna be interested in until, they're
will they ever
ever at all?
Will they even know what that is? Yeah,
because in my experience, it's like no one. Not until your 30s is that even going to be like an option that could happen. So,
and then people are going to start saying like that's weird in your 30s, and that's the time whenever people really are like, this is like it's. Are you going to make plan? Do you have plans? And you're like, what do you mean plans? I'm just hanging out like everyone.
But you wouldn't even have that
really
pressure if we just got rid of sex education, let people fend for themselves on Pornhub.
Right.
Which is why I have a suggestion here. Can we de-educate the sex ed that is currently out there?
Yeah, because
that's the problem I've had a lot.
Yeah, so that is actually, and you didn't even need to suggest it because that's already been on our docket for quite a while now. Where, by the way, guess what one of the tenets of sex education for women is?
Is that if that orgasms are fake, and if you say otherwise, like you're trying to gaslight me?
The opposite. They think it's real. The current sex education system for women is self-pleasure. There's nothing wrong with sex. It's okay. Take these contraceptions, make yourself feel good, and if you're in the mood, have an orgasm. And so it's putting these unrealistic standards on women that, like, we both know that orgasms aren't real. That you can't. Like, it would be like saying, we are encouraging you to solve a Rubik's Cube in 2 seconds if you've never solved a Rubik's Cube. It's not real. You can't do it.
Yeah, I mean, I could probably do that, but, like, I don't think the woman could, yeah.
It puts unrealistic pressure on me because now I was actually someone and she's like been taught that she can have an orgasm, and now she's expecting me to do that. Like, okay, what fantasy world are you pressure
with this much timing pressure, and like you want me to just perform?
You think
here?
In 30 seconds, the time it takes me to finish, I'm gonna be able to give you some mythical thing that doesn't exist?
Yeah, let me just deliver you a unicorn hamburger while I'm at it. Right?
Exactly. Oh, that actually is the thing that we're pushing. Weird that you mentioned that.
Oh.
We are actually starting to so we're anti-GMO, but we're recreating sort of like the Jurassic Park thing because we're kind of low on animals. We want all natural food. So we are creating new animals. We're bringing back certain dinosaurs strictly for food.
Okay.
Strictly.
And this is really exciting to me, and this is why I was excited about RFK. Is, yes, there's lots of protections for hunting, but what about like rogue freelance hunting? Just the hunting you do in your day to day. Like, oh, there's a pigeon. I'm gonna step on that pigeon. That pigeon's my meal today. RFK lives that lifestyle, and I was hoping that he'd
eat what you hunt.
Yeah.
Eat what you hunt.
If I spot a hunk of meat, can I incorporate that into my healthcare? And I think this new administration is really going to be pushing for that specifically.
By the way, the most fun thing to hunt, and you won't hear the liberals tell you this, the most dangerous game. By the way, you know what's very healthy, nutritious? Human meat. And I'm not saying you should be able to, but in a fair system, in a free market where the prey has just as much power as you do, if you're able to catch and hunt and kill that thing, this is something we're pushing. You should be able to legally. And then that is a natural balanced diet. You eat what you hunt. You don't base it on these seed oils, these trans fats, these corporations that are pushing chemicals on you. No, you hunt it, you eat it. And that's what nature intended. And that's something we're trying to get back to as people.
Well, and this is one of those things, everyone knows it's the most dangerous game, man. But what they don't mention is it's so dangerous that if you don't hunt them, your fellow man, they're hunting you first. Yeah. So it's you're reacting out of self-defense.
Sorry, I just want to clarify something for listeners on this one. It's more dangerous than WarioWare.
It's less dangerous than Monopoly, but it's more dangerous than, I would say, any of the Mario Universe video games. I would say, except for Luigi's Mansion. That is the one exception.
So sorry,
okay.
I need to be clear here. Wario, that's with a W, not Mario. I just want to make sure.
Yeah,
I did say Mario Universe, but sure.
Wario's kind of part of the Mario universe.
It is technically part of the MU, but
and this
okay.
Look at an example of our current medical system right here with Dr. London being like, "Oh, you said Mario Universe, I said WarioWare."
Yeah,
it's like this is the same thing, bro.
That's in the universe, but go off.
Well, okay.
How many seed oils have you drank today?
Yeah.
Look, I've tolerated a lot. I've tolerated a lot of sort of alternative medicine takes, but this whole Mario thing, like there is a limit to how far we push this stuff.
Yeah, that's a great point. Can we talk about alternative medicine for a second? Only because you brought it up. There's a lot of talk about Eastern and Western medicine. How about they're both bad? We're pushing Southern medicine, so this is a new thing that we're doing. We don't do Eastern, we don't do Western, we don't do Northern. God, don't get me started on Northern medicine, dude. We're doing Southern medicine,
like Australia,
like back down south, the true roots of America. Southern medicine. We're doing all natural. Rub some dirt on it. Hey, I need a vaccine shot. Oh, I'm so sick. Can you help me? How about you spit on the dirt? You put your boot on it. You rub it into the ground. And you keep doing your day. Keep on going. All right? Everyone's so fragile now. Oh, I got a boo-boo. Oh, I need antibiotics. Do you think they were using antibiotics in the 1700s? I don't think so.
And there's, whatever happened, just talking about, down south health and medicine, whatever happened to actually building up your immune system by hanging out in a Kroger bathroom like I did, like my parents did? This is how I met most of the people in my life, and this is also where I built up such a strong immunity by the various things I touched and the people I touched in all the different ways.
What were you doing in the Kroger bathroom?
Nothing weird. We met there. So it's nothing weird.
How'd you guys?
Just building up my immune system. I mean, I feel like that's pretty straightforward.
Were you introducing things into your body? How are you building up your immune system?
So there's different pathogens.
Just for education. I just want to for education, so I can implement this maybe if it's effective.
No, yes, thank you.
I do think this ties into my disability, unfortunately. So I don't think for HIPAA reasons I can sort of get into sort of the specifics of.
Can I tell you
the bathroom?
He is very disabled. Yeah. No, in that. Yeah. So
okay, yeah, sure. But my immune system is stronger than ever.
Yeah.
And listen, whatever works. And I think that's kind of the message I'm trying to put out is don't read the mainstream narrative. Don't read the typical medical directives that your doctor will give you. Sorry, Dr. London, but a lot of the mainstream medical advice right now is just not accurate according to our studies, our independent studies, and we're trying to change the way Americans think about that. Sorry, go ahead.
Well, it's just the Mario universe is going to be so important in society and culture, and I just feel like let's not brush over there are certain points that we don't bend because if we try to bend them, they will break. You know what I mean?
This is about you either want or don't want more WarioWare representation in the Mario universe. I could never figure this out. You're saying Smash Brothers characters, Mario Kart, etc.
Well, one of the things that's interesting with Wario is they don't specify gender, and I want to say this because a lot of people think that this administration is anti-progressive movements.
They declared that everyone's female. Yeah.
Community, right? And I just want to say I don't think that's an accurate representation. Like, for instance, we're pretty progressive. You were talking about mailmen wanting to ask a male person because we don't. This administration, we don't use gender
This is sounding a little woke
titles.
to me, but okay, I'll let you go. RFK's not woke, is he?
It's wokeism,
well,
man.
it's not a woke or not woke thing. It's a like, for instance, and we're trying to bring a lot of people together here. So like, I don't say male men. I'll say a female man, because we're not trying to gender specify a job title. I'll call someone what was it, trash man? No, you're a garbage person.
Okay,
you are a straight up garbage person.
I've heard that. Okay,
because I do have a female man as well. They just
a lot of us
different job.
Did you meet them in the?
Yeah, in Kroger. Yeah. Wow, and it's been such a good talk. Oh, but
sometimes it's a Carl's Jr. or a Hardee's. It depends on what side of the Mississippi you're on.
And
but it's the same bathroom experience.
And what meal deal discount they have on a banner above it. That's usually also a pretty big indicator.
Of if it's a Carl's
the
Jr.
bigger bigger the deal, the bigger the party.
Bigger, not bigger. But certainly like
quality over quantity. That's fair.
Availability. Like, you don't go to fast food for the. So thank you so much for coming on the podcast.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, sure.
Thank you, Scott Kennedy. Is there anywhere for listeners to follow you or anyone you're a fan of? I'm sure follow the news really to hear about you.
Yeah, so you can go to the Human Health Services website on .gov, obviously. We have a lot of updates on there, constantly updating new stuff happening every day. One of my big proponents is this guy on Twitter that actually gives us a lot of good policy advice, and he's also pretty funny on Twitter. He's at facebook.net, all one word, on Twitter. So definitely check him out. And honestly, he's part of our he's an advisor to our administration, so he'll be updating things separately, just independently.
Okay.
For what we have going on.
And so he's not like a seed oil, like kind of like soy boy, like beta.
Well, he's my relative, so I am related. I don't know if you want to get into the name combo because we can be here for 90 minutes, but we are related, and he is a seed oil magnate. So he comes from big seed oil, unfortunately. And I don't, by the way, I don't condone that. I'm trying to get away from that. That's one of the reasons I got into this. I'm trying to get away from that part of my family. He's super into it. He's basically, he's kind of soy boy cuck, if I'm being real.
He's super into seed oil? Like, just, he's really into it?
He made it. His family made his money on it. It's all he eats. It's all he does. And I don't condone it, but he's deep in the seed oil. So
it's kind of like when someone's a Scientologist, you have to just be like, well, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was because they have a secret on him, and the seed oils basically are trying to blackmail him. Essentially, is what's happening. And I don't. That's a whole different conversation. I don't want to get into that right now, but we're just pray for him. Just pray for him.
So keep up with them on Twitter. Formerly Twitter, it's actually called X now. This is a recent development that I read about.
Actually, everything. Yep.
And
it's all happening on X, by the way. I don't know if you know that. Did you know that it's all happening on X?
Well, not everything. Not talking.
Oh, it's all
talking about sports with some of my friends. I can do that there.
First of all, yes, you absolutely can. X is the everything app. You can do anything on X. And Elon's a big friend of ours, so I just wanted to shout him out real quick. But
now I can't use this app to also look up like updates about my favorite pop stars, right?
So they are changing that feature actually.
Okay.
Yeah.
See, I knew it couldn't be everything.
It's not everything, but it's a lot. It's a lot. Yeah.
Well, thank you so much, Scott, for that shout out for that user of X, formerly known as Twitter. No one calls it Twitter anymore.
No one calls it Twitter anymore. Only the libs.
Thank you to our producer Cameron. Thank you to Digital in the House.
also with us is Digital in the House.